Welcome to Business 360. I'm Haryana Communal. Here are the headlines we're tracking this hour. Stock markets end a range-bound session with minor losses. Midcaps buck the trend and the index ends with marginal gains. The demand for gold in India is down 7% in the April to June quarter. World Gold Council expects demand to decline 10% in 2023, hitting the lowest level in 3 years. A mixed bag for Motown in July. Commercial vehicle sales comes under pressure while exports continue to hurt. Tractor sales improve. Passenger vehicles, especially SUVs, accelerate. The Enforcement Directorate raids HeroMoto chairman Pawan Munjal's residence in connection with a money laundering case. Search is also conducted at other premises in Delhi and Gurugram. HeroMoto stock tumbles to the lowest level in a year. Union government moves to apply the polluter pays principle on the automobile industry with the new extended production responsibility policy. Sources say companies could be mandated to recycle their vehicles and reuse components. That's an exclusive. Communal violence in parts of Haryana leave at least 5 people dead and more than 30 injured. Curfew imposed in Gurugram and Nuh. Schools and colleges remain shut. Mobile internet services have been suspended. 17 construction workers crushed to death at a Mumbai-Nagpur expressway site in Thane after a crane collapse. 3 people injured and 5 to 6 people are feared trapped. Maharashtra government orders a probe. Supreme Court summons Manipur Director General of Police to appear in person before the court on Friday. Apex Court wants him to answer questions on the tardy investigation in Manipur violence cases. The top court calls the police investigation lethargic, says there is no law and order left at all in the state and that the state police is incapable of investigation. Lok Sabha debate on the no-confidence motion scheduled for August 8th and 9th. The Prime Minister will reply on the 10th. The government tables the Delhi Services Bill in the Lok Sabha amid loud sloganeering. The bill allows the centre to retain control over the Delhi bureaucracy. Myanmar's military rulers pardon AungSanSuuKyi on 5 legal charges, but the deposed leader remains saddled with 14 other cases against her. She has been in detention for the last 2 years and has been sentenced to more than 30 years in jail. All right, let's start with the market action. Sensex and Nifty end with marginal losses after a range-bound session. Bank stocks decline in trade, with the Nifty Bank index losing nearly 60 points. Midcaps managed to buck the trend, and the index ended marginally in the green. India's appetite for gold seems to have taken a hit due to record high prices. The World Gold Council is expecting demand to fall 10% and hit a 3-year low this year. Manisha Gupta is here with more.
Well, yes, the gold demand numbers do not look good for the Indian markets. The previous quarter has seen 7% of a decline in volumes, and with the expectation that for the year we could be in the minus of 10% there. But the devil clearly is in the details, because while the volumes have been declining, the value has been going up in sense of all of these categories, because the gold prices are much higher. We've also seen an all-time high in gold prices in this year as well, and that really seems to be impacting the volume but not the value here. For example, when you look at the demand in the previous quarter, it fell 7% in volume, but the value-wise, it went up by nearly 4%. The overall gold imports also in the previous quarter have declined by nearly 16%, with World Gold Council saying that for the year, while it has been 271 tons of import for the first half, but overall the year could still end up by around 650 to 750 tons. When you look at the jewelry demand volume as well, that fell 8%, but value-wise went up by 3%. Investment demand fell by 3%, but value-wise went up by nearly 9%. The only very big number really worth noticing is the recycled gold. This is the gold that comes back into the market, whether you are exchanging gold for new gold or you're selling your household gold for cash. This recycled gold came into the market up by nearly 61%. If you look at the gold prices also in the month of July itself, we've seen 2.5% of gains coming in for this one. Silver gained up by 8% as well. And the markets do believe that this is a year which could continue to be on the higher side, especially if Chinese demand picks up and also the US does not hike any more interest rates. The US non-farm payroll data on Friday is also going to be of importance, though the markets do feel that the buying will continue, especially as we are getting into the wedding season, festival season. It just goes on until Diwali and the New Year as well. So while the volumes could be lower, the value still might just surprise you on the higher side.
All right, thank you, Manisha. India's Purchasing Managers Index for manufacturing has softened to a 3-month low. However, the sector remains in expansion mode for 25 straight months. The PMI reading for July was 57.7 compared to 57.8 in July. Any reading above 50 denotes expansion in the sector. The rate of expansion in output and new orders was only marginally softer in July compared to June. GST collections came in at 1.65 lakh crore rupees in July, registering an 11% growth year-on-year. Collections have crossed the 1.60 lakh crore mark for the fifth time since the tax regime came into existence. Revenues from domestic transactions were 15% higher than July of 2022. Back home, PVR Inox reported a consolidated net loss of 82 crore rupees, narrowing down sequentially from 333 crore rupees. The company reported a 14% jump in revenue and 34% rise in EBITDA quarter on quarter. Average ticket price rose nearly 3%, while the average expenditure per head on food and beverages surged 9% on a sequential basis. To earnings from the auto space, StockMarkets posted strong numbers in the first quarter, with the revenue rising 15.5%, margins up at 14% versus 11.5% year-on-year. Net profit jumped by a whopping 93% at 283 crores. Company sees strong improvement in agri-machinery, railway and construction equipment. Auto sales for the month of July were a mixed bag. While it was a bumpy ride for commercial vehicles, the tractor segment saw an improvement in sales. Passenger cars saw a strong growth in sales. Sonia Shenoy joins us with more details. Sonia, what are the key trends as far as auto sales are concerned?
Well, thanks a lot for that. So there are four large trends that we've seen in this month's numbers, the auto sales. Let me start with the commercial vehicle space, where there's definitely pressure that we're seeing in the sales this time. Both Tata Motors and Eicher Motors have reported a fall in CV sales. Tata Motors CV sales down 4% year-on-year, while Eicher Motors CV sales down 1.8%. The other big trend I notice is that exports continue to be on the weaker side, despite managements like Bajaj Auto saying that things will improve July onwards. So Bajaj Auto reported a steep 18% fall in exports, and that led to an overall 10% degrowth in their numbers. In the third trend, I noticed that the tractor segment has seen an improvement. You mentioned Escort's earnings as well. Escort's earnings have been very strong in the quarter gone by. Even for the numbers for the month of July, domestic sales growth came in at almost 10% for Escorts. The management says that retail demand will pick up in the festive month starting September. In fact, even if you pour through their Q1 numbers, there's been a significant jump in the EBITDA performance and very strong top-line growth for Escorts as well. M&M too reported a domestic tractor volume growth of 11% year-on-year. And the fourth trend is that the passenger vehicle segment, especially the SUV segment, has seen a very strong growth. M&M just reported a passenger vehicle growth of 29% year-on-year, and they clocked in the highest ever SUV domestic sales of 36,200 in a single month. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Sonia, for that. On to a CNBC-TV18 exclusive. Mahindra & Mahindra's electric vehicle business is likely to get another round of fund infusion. Sources say that the fund infusion is expected to come from a large Asian fund and will be completed in the next 2 weeks. CNBC-TV18 has reached out to the company for a comment on this story and is awaiting a response. The Enforcement Directorate has conducted raids at HeroMoto Corp chairman Pawan Munjal's residence. This, according to sources who say that searches were also conducted at his other premises located in Gurugram and Delhi. HeroMoto shares plunged following the news. Abhimanyu Sharma joins us with more details.
The Enforcement Directorate has raided the residence of HeroMoto Corp's chairman Pawan Munjal. The case under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act was registered against Munjal after the ED took cognizance of a case filed by the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. DRI had earlier caught a close associate of Pawan Munjal with undeclared foreign currency at the Delhi airport. There are several other probes which are also pending against the company. In March 2022, the Income Tax Department had conducted searches at 25 premises linked to HeroMoto Corp as part of a tax evasion probe against the world's largest manufacturer of motorcycles and scooters. In June this year, the Corporate Affairs Ministry had sent a notice to HeroMoto Corp for alleged diversion of funds and shell companies.
Thank you, Abhimanyu. The government is looking to mandate automobile companies to recycle some vehicles sold by them. Sources say the centre is working on a new extended production responsibility policy in an attempt to apply the polluter pays principle on the sector. Parikshit Luthra is here with the details. Parikshit, what is the government planning and how will this impact the auto industry?
Well, the first meeting in this direction has already taken place, and what the government is considering is setting mandates for vehicle makers in terms of taking off some of the end-of-life vehicles from the roads for recycling them and also reusing some of the recycled material as well. So percentages, a formula is being discussed by an inter-ministerial group. We believe a technical committee could soon be formed. Suggestions are being sought from the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, other automotive industry bodies as well. But the government is clearly working towards such a step and extended production responsibility. Now, this is in line with our Paris goals, our Paris commitments as well. And we believe that in the next few months, we could see some contours of this policy. But the focus is on making sure that every vehicle maker, be it a commercial vehicle manufacturer, a two-wheeler or a car maker, the company is responsible from manufacturing the vehicle to recycling it. That is, the entire value chain of the vehicle is the responsibility of the company.
Right, thank you, Parikshit, for those exclusive details. It's time for a short break. Up next, we'll get you the latest on the communal violence that's spread in parts of Haryana. 5 people have died and more than 30 injured. More details when we return. Welcome back. Communal violence in parts of Haryana has left at least 5 people dead and more than 30 injured. A curfew has been imposed in Gurugram and Noor districts where schools and colleges remain shut. Mobile internet services have been suspended as well. Here's a report by Network 18's team of reporters on the aftermath of these clashes.
बजरंग दल और विश्व हिंदू परिषद की शोभा यात्रा निकल रही थी। उसी दौरान एक दूसरे समुदाय के लोगों ने उनके ऊपर पत्थरबाजी शुरू कर दी और उसके बाद दोनों समुदाय के बीच जमकर पत्थरबाजी हुई। पुलिस जब मौके पर पहुंचती है तो पुलिस पार्टी को भी निशाना बनाया जाता है और आप देख सकते हैं यहां पर इस जगह पर तमाम जगहों पर केवल पत्थर ही पत्थर नजर आ रहे हैं। कांच के शीशे टूटे पड़े हैं। यहां पर गोलियों के बुलेट के निशान यहां पर आपको देखे जा रहे हैं और कई पुलिसकर्मी जो हैं इस घटना में घायल हुए हैं।
मेवात में हुए विवाद के बाद अभी भी स्थिति काफी तनावपूर्ण है और आप ठीक मेरे पीछे देखिए किस तरह से मेवात पुलिस के अलावा अन्य जिलों से भी पुलिस को बुलाया गया है और स्थिति को काबू करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। बिल्कुल पुलिस के ठीक उस तरफ सामने जो है उपद्रवी हैं और लगातार फायरिंग कर रहे हैं पुलिस के ऊपर और पुलिस भी अपने बचाव में लगातार फायरिंग कर रही है और कोशिश कर रही है कि इनको यहाँ से खदेड़ा जाए।
I'm currently at the place at which I'm reporting from. It's in Nu, and this was one of the epicenter of the violence that broke out yesterday. If you could see in the visuals, the manner in which absolutely there is absolute carnage that has broken out over here since yesterday.
People who have been detained, they are being questioned to identify the culprits. Force is deployed at all religious institutions in Gurgaon and nearby areas, particularly areas with higher footfall and those where religious institutions are there. Schools and colleges, seeing the situation, have also been shut, at least for today. Social media is being closely monitored and dedicated teams have been set up to control and to contain rumor mongering.
सिचुएशन अभी अंडर कंट्रोल है। ये कैसे शांति परमानेंट स्थापित की जाए और जो लेफ्ट सेस हैं और जो कहाँ हम इस सिचुएशन को और बेहतर कर सकते थे और इन घटनाओं की पुनरावृत्ति ना हो, उसके लिए पीएचक्यू से स्वयं डीजीपी महोदय इसकी समीक्षा कर रहे हैं और एक एक पहलू की मॉनिटरिंग की जा रही है।
पुलिस ने और जो केंद्र सरकार की ओर से हमने निवेदन किया था, वहां से जो केंद्रीय सुरक्षा बल 16 कंपनीज वहां पहुंच चुकी हैं। 30 कंपनीज हरियाणा पुलिस की भी वहां पहुंची हैं। इन सब ने नू में स्थिति को सामान्य किया है। अभी तक सब मिलाकर 44 के आसपास एफआईआर हुई हैं और 70 लोगों के खिलाफ अभी नामजद उनको किया गया है, उनको हिरासत में लिया गया है।
गृह मंत्री कह रहे हैं कि हमने पर्याप्त जो है बल तैनात किया है।
वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, अब पर्याप्त उन्हें भेजा होगा, लेकिन पहले जितनी होनी चाहिए थी उतनी नहीं है जो मैंने सुना है।
Moving on, at least 17 people were killed as a crane collapsed on a bridge slab at the Mumbai-Nagpur Expressway site in Thane. 3 people have been injured. At least 5 people are feared to be trapped. The Maharashtra government has called for a probe into the matter. Santia reports from the accident site.
Last night, a girder launching machine collapsed on a bridge at the under construction Samriddhi Expressway. This highway is going to connect Mumbai to Nagpur. The incident took place in Shahpura Tehsil of Maharashtra. This is the third phase of the expressway. Team CNBC-TV18 is at the accident site. This is the place where it happened. Now the project is taken care by MSRDC. It is MSRDC's project. MSRDC informed the media that an investigation has been ordered. A group of experts will look into what caused this accident. Total 17 people have died so far. Out of these 17 people, 10 were construction workers, 2 were engineers, and 5 were employees. 3 people are seriously injured and are undergoing treatment. 3 people are still feared to be trapped under the debris. 2 teams of NDRF reached the location. Local police and local authorities, local fire department teams also reached the spot, and the search and rescue operation is being conducted. Talking about ex gratia payment, state government has announced a compensation of rupees 5 lakh. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has announced that rupees 5 lakhs will be given to the family members of every victim. Talking about Samriddhi Expressway, it was inaugurated in December 2022. It's one of the most ambitious projects of Maharashtra government, and this incident so far has already claimed 17 lives. In Shahpur, with camera person Altaf Sheikh, this is Santia for CNBC TV18.
The Supreme Court has summoned the Manipur Director General of Police to appear in person on the 7th of August. The Apex Court has observed that there was complete breakdown of law and order in the state and wants the Manipur DG to answer questions on the tardy investigation in the state's violence cases. Ashmit Kumar joins us with the details. Ashmit, take us through the Apex Court's tough observations.
Well, just yesterday, the Apex Court had pulled up the centre for not having the data, for not having the numbers on the violence that took place in the state of Manipur in the months of May and June. Now, in response to that charge, the Solicitor General appearing for the centre today clarified before the Apex Court that as many as 6,500 FIRs had been registered as a consequence of the violence, and subsequently clarified that only 11 of them pertain to violence and crimes against women. Now, these numbers did not impress the Apex Court. The Supreme Court observed that there was a complete breakdown of law and order and the constitutional machinery in the state of Manipur. Went on to say that as far as the initial reports coming out of Manipur are concerned, it seems that the police force in the state is incapable of conducting the investigation. Also went on to say that the situation is such that there is no law and order situation that is prevailing, or at least in the months of May and June in the state of Manipur. And to that end, taking very strong exception to this breakdown, has asked for the DGP, has summoned the DGP to appear in person before the next date of hearing to give answers, to give clarity on what transpired in the last 2 months and what is being done to correct, to remedy the situation. The Supreme Court is seized of the matter and now will continue the hearing on August 7th. That's the Monday next week, and that's when the Apex Court will expect more answers, not just from the Solicitor General and the Centre, but also the state of Manipur and the DGP.
Thank you, Ashmit, for that. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. We leave you with the story of AI Health Highway, a startup that's using technology to bridge the healthcare gap. Thanks for watching.
In a world where access to quality healthcare is a challenge, particularly for rural populations, AI Health Highway emerges as a beacon of innovation, embodying the essence of the Digital India campaign, founded in 2019 by Dr. Satish S. Jeevanavar, Dr. Radhakrishna S. Jamadagni, and Anuj Pandit. This pioneering startup is transforming the healthcare landscape through groundbreaking technological solutions.
AI Step primarily has got 3 key components: device, data and intelligence. Our device captures 30 seconds of heart sounds and converts the acoustics into visual signature pattern. Once it is uploaded to the cloud, in 30 seconds to 2 minutes, we are able to identify the presence of murmur, which gives an indication of the valvular heart disorders.
AI Health Highway's remarkable journey seamlessly merges the principles of Digital India campaign with an innovative approach. By leveraging the power of technology, it bridges the healthcare gap and empowers individuals in remote areas to access reliable and efficient healthcare services.
India has got 6 to 7 lakh villages, but 60 to 70% of the population can't reach a hospital or access specialists. So through our solution, even a midwife or a nurse or a newly trained MBBS doctor can use AI Step and help in screening and early detection of cardiorespiratory disorders.
AI Health Highway, an IISc incubated startup, is transforming healthcare accessibility for rural populations through its web app and telehealth intervention. In a developing nation that is struggling with various healthcare ecosystem challenges, this is a heartwarming testament on the positive impact that technology can have on improving lives.